Is your old self dying? The old identity you live by, is it washing away? If it is, let it happen. Let the old self die and allow the new you to emerge. Ancient man, tribes, they used to exist within it. Typically someone was called a sage. The old elder who held wisdom and knowledge and great information, things beyond the objective sight of what we can see and experience. This individual was responsible oftentimes for the transition of young men moving on into adults. Young boys to older men now. That transition period was done differently across different cultures and different tribes. I'm sure you've seen some will put their hands in this sort of contraption where you put your hand through. It's a woven basket that had fire ants in it. You got to put your hands in it and let it bite you and last as long as you can as a rite of passage and transition. Some will ask their young men to carry a couple pieces of equipment. Off you go into the woods. Don't come back until a couple days. What was the point of that, though? The real intent behind it is to let the child psychology die, to let it go, and to emerge out of it with this new archetypal energy, this new king and warrior, sensual lover energy. If you look in the modern world today, we have lost that transition period. And what's ended up happening because we have lost that transition period is the child psychology hasn't left. And so you witness and you look around, you can see adults who walk around and act like, talk like, not just children in their embodied, most beautiful form, but in their shadow form. Because know that the child psychology exists within two polarities. It has an inward shadow, outward shadow. Inward shadow is the self-harm. The outward shadow is the harm of others. And there's different archetypal styles and structures of the child psychology. You have the Oedipal, you have the grandstanding bully. You have all types. And if not contended with, and if not dealt with and removed, transitioned, then it brings itself forward into the adult world. And then you end up getting adults who are really internally the level of child, dictating, making decisions, and then some of those individuals are voting for other children who are masked, who are adults but within are children. And things slowly just move towards a little bit of chaos before eventually, hopefully, it rebounds back. For you, this is your moment for transition. This is your moment to allow that old self to die. Go out symbolically into the woods and endure the pain so you can come back emerged stronger and wiser and more empathetic, more compassionate. It is the balance. That ritual process is different for everybody, and it's often done better if you're in a group, in a community that focuses on those things. But if you want to do it yourself, then you're going to have to make it important. You're going to have to make it sacred, not trivial. And one way you can do it is by making the inward struggle, tackling the complexes from within, tackling the unconscious mind, something akin to a knight slaying a dragon. You are the knight, and the dragon is within you. And it's up to you to slay that dragon. Now, one thing to know is these complexes that live within us, emotional knots that contain trauma, pain, memories, we cannot remove them, but you can stop them from controlling your life. You can stop them from warping your view of the world and your view of your future, where you are no longer in conflict, where one part of you says, I want to do this, but the other side says, don't, because you might fail. Don't, because you might embarrass yourself. But what's the point anyway? The downward spiral effect. When you face inwardly and you contend, you will emerge out of it, as I say, integrated slightly more. And by that I mean the communication between your ego, the conscious awareness, and the soul, the unconscious, having that channel of communication clean and fluid, respected, will make it so that you will then tap into an energy that feels, as one of my clients said the other day, unsure if whether it's me or something else. And when you make touch with that, you can't go back. It is something you have to explore, and it's something worth exploring. It makes life beautiful again. It makes life worth it again. You feel a calling of purpose. And as I always like to say, and honestly in the last few videos I've finally been able to say it, is divine purpose. Something you felt was given strictly to you. The same way I feel that what I'm doing, coaching individuals on rebuilding purpose, rediscovering who they are, and moving towards an ego-soul integrated lifestyle, that to me is divine purpose. And it only came to me after identity loss and wandering the desert and then losing track of myself and building myself into this individual that I thought I had to be, to eventually let that die. But at the moment that died, the child died. But know this, when I say the child died, I don't mean that you strip it away and you lose that beautiful spirit that the child has. You just remove the attitude that expects things to come forward to you. Everything should land on your lap, and it's unfair, and it's angry, and it's bitter, and it wants to hurt not just themselves, but maybe other people. You let that go, and then you integrate within it what is divine about a child. The curiosity, the adventure, their compassion, their love, their calling for something greater, and their ability to be in the moment, not warped by opinion. Not yet, anyway. And so it's bringing that forward, sitting in the center and wrapped around the adult psychology that you are today. The adult psychology that has endured pain and tragedy and knows that the world is not just benevolent, but is also malevolent. And you're accepting of the two, and you're walking a fine line, always making sure that you are neither one or the other. That you know your capabilities of good and you know your capabilities of bad. And you're trying to stay on that path. And integration will be the thing that will let you connect with forces and archetypal energy that you never thought you had. And it's happened for me, and it's happening to my clients. It can happen to you too. You just stay consistent with it. Tackle inwardly. And micro to macro, small changes lead to big changes. It's not about doing everything at once today. Make it a lifestyle, as I always say. If this resonated with you and you want to be a part of it in a deeper way, click that button below. It'll send you over to my website, and you can sign up to my monthly newsletter. And I'll send you my 3-step identity rebuilding guide to help you navigate that identity loss and move you towards an integrated lifestyle. It was a community I've always wished I had, and I am beyond excited to share it with you, and hope and wish and also believe all at once that you can do the same. Rebuild purpose, rediscover who you are, and live an ego-soul integrated lifestyle. Holistic. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.